Thanks for subscribing, thanks for liking, and thanks for sharing. Today we're going to discuss pedigrees, understanding pedigrees, and then the pedigree certificates.
Jungle.
Hi guys, I'm Peter Vigili Olympio at House of Vigili Rottweiler, Kennels, Ghana, West Africa. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for liking, and thanks for sharing. Today we're going to discuss pedigrees, understanding pedigrees, and then the pedigree certificates. But then before I get to that, let me just go through some definitions that would need to be able to understand what I'll be explaining. So then we start with matings. Breeding. So breeding is defined as the mating of good quality animals to produce highly productive and suitable animals for enhancement of overall performance in the subsequent generations and to augment production and profitability. That's what is termed as breeding. So in the breeding mating systems, there are two. That's the natural one and then the artificial one. So artificial one is the AI, artificial insemination, what we do. And then the systems of breeding, we have inbreeding and then outbreeding. So in the inbreeding, we have the line breeding, back breeding, and all that. And then with the outbreeding, we have the crossbreeding, we have the grading up, and then we have the crossbreeding. So then that's just, so we'll go straight ahead to the pedigree certificate. So when you have a pedigree certificate, these are the things you look out for. So firstly, let's just take this. So this is a pedigree certificate. You have the name of the dog here. You have the breed here. You have the color here. You have usually you have the breeder's details here, the breed of the dog. You have the coat here. You have the gender here. You have date of birth here. This is tagged export because it's an export for a dog that was imported into the country from a different country. And then this is the JR code for, this is Serbia, so therefore wireless it's like this for them. And then that's it. So when you have a pedigree certificate, this is generation 1, generation 2, generation 3, and then generation 4. So here you have the Sa here and Dam here. So that's mother and father of the intended dog. So the intended dog is here. The dog in question is here. And then we have the mother and then father here. And then we have grandparents, great-grandparents, and great-great-grandparents. So then this is how the pedigree looks like. And then in case you haven't seen the dog and there are no pictures of the dog, what you can use to tell is, with parentages. So over here you can see the father is burning the spirits as they are gone. So he is 2010 and no, he is he's two-time world champion, IFR world champion. I think 2012 and then one other year. I don't really remember now. So then for a dog to be IFR champion, International Federation of Rottweilers champion for 2 years, it means he's a very good dog. So then without even seeing burning, you know he's a very good dog because he's won twice. And then you have his HDED results here. HDAEDO, meaning he's free of dysplasia. And then he has IPO1. He has many other titles. So then without seeing this dog in question, you can tell from show results and then some of the health tests that are present on here that he's a good dog without even seeing the dog in question. Then you can go online, Google, use working dogs or World Pedigree Database to find the dog, and you find other details there. That's it. Or you can ask from a breeder who knows the dogs or who has progenies of the dog to find out further questions. And then when you go to the mother, you can also find the mother's HD here, ED here. So that's the mother is elbow and hip dysplasia free. You can see he's won CAC 5 times, and then some other results you have in there. She's also junior champion of Turkey or so. That's TUR. Yeah. So then without seeing these two dogs, you're able to tell that, oh, this dog is this and this is this good. So what you can't tell from here will be, example, more dominant traits and then recessive traits or whatever other trait that can't be present here. So then how you find the other information is you talk to breeders who have offsprings of the dog. So you look for, example, Benin offsprings. You can find about 5-6 of them. If it's in your country, excellent. If you have to go online to look for them, you look for them. You talk to breeders to find out how the temperament of the dog is. Yes, he's a good dog. He's won IFR champion twice. But probably you want dogs that are towards the crazy, towards the high drive part. You just find out from other breeders. Then you continue the same way. You find all details attached to it. So then that's how you're able to, without seeing the parents of the dog, you're able to tell that, oh, the father is a very good dog, the mother is a very good. So then, yes, of course, championship titles matters, health test matters. So then when you see the pedigree like this is what you can derive from this. So then, example, say, going back to what I stated earlier, we have a line breeding, we have a crossbreeding, we have backbreeding. So backbreeding first. So I'd like to use colts as an example of backbreeding. So instead of defining, I'll explain what backbreeding is. So say you have a litter from male A and then female B, and you have puppy C, D, E, F, G, H. Backbreeding is when you take the offspring back to the father or the offspring back to the mother. Do you understand? So it's backbreeding. And then usually what happens is you pick the best out of the litter and you mate it back to the parents. This is just to cement some traits. So in here in Colt, his second generation, you can see Baron here. So that's his grandfather on mother's side. And then you can see Baron here again in 1, 2, 3, generation 3. As great-grand, this is mother, this is grandmother, this is great-grandmother. So great-grandfather is here, and then he's here as grandfather. So then this is how the backbreeding was done here. So Baron is here. Baron and then Fiona produced this female, and then this female was mated back to Baron to get Colt's mother. So that is backbreeding. So then that's an example of backbreeding. So let me go to line breeding. Let me just find one of the pedigrees with something common in it to be able to explain line breeding better. So in explaining line breeding, I don't have any dogs here that have been line bred, but let me just explain using this. So if we have this for a female, Hannah Lions of Plevia, let's assume the male we are using for the mating is Prince Prime. So the male we are using for the mating is Prince Prime. And then in the male's pedigree, we also have Benin being the father there. So then it means we are breeding Prince Prime to Hannah Lions of Plevia, and then the common ancestor there is Benin. That is, he is the father of both. So that is a line breeding kind of thing. So let me explain it here. So you see, on some people say 2 on 2, 3 on 3, 4 on 4, explain the line breeding. So this is generation 1, 2, 3, 4. Assuming Benin was here in generation 2 and then here in generation 3. It means Benin appears twice in this dog's pedigree. So it means it's going to be Benin here and Benin here. So it's going to be 2 on 3 on Benin. The Princess de Aragon. So he's the dog that is being line bred on. So that's how to get. So if it happens that the dog is in generation 4 and 4, it is 4 on 4. If it is 4 and 3, it is 4 on 3. If it is 3 on 2, it is 3 on 2. If it's in 3 and 2, it's like that. But then you hardly get them here. But when it is here, it is no longer a line breeding. It's either a back breeding or an inbreeding. So the difference is usually, so the line breeding is separated by more than one generation. And usually it's aunties, cousins, that kind of thing. But then inbreeding is brother, sister, mother, daughter. Yeah, so back breeding is a kind of inbreeding. And then if you decide to do, explain crossbreeding. I want to explain outcross. So an outcross, this is a perfect outcross. So this is called pedigree, and then this is a female's pedigree. They are not related. They don't have any common relations in the first 4 generations. So that is an outcross. So then usually outcrosses bring diversity, and then they help dilute whatever situations we have. But then before you plan an outcross too, then you need to know whatever you're bringing in, because this dog has its own faults, this dog has its own fault, this line has its own fault, this line also has its own fault. So when you bring them together, you might be doubling up on some faults. So that's why people prefer to do the line breedings and work with common lines. That way they're able to know what exactly it's in there, what exactly you're going to get out. Like a common dog they are using now. So to make things simple, the majority's understanding of what breeding is in your country is what determines the breed's future. So let me explain. If right now all Rottweiler breeders think the parked phase Rottweilers, and then maybe example dog A is a dog they should all breed to. And then we have about 40-50% of the breeders of Rottweilers breeding to that dog and breeding that kind of dog. Next few generations to come is going to be that dog only. So whatever that dog has in there, whatever is hidden, whatever is cemented, whatever is dominant is what is going to appear throughout. So you're going to have maybe, let's say Ghana, with about 50% of breeders working with, example, Prince Prime as a dog. And then for the next 4 or 5 years, all you're going to have is everything related to Prince Prime. His daughter mating his brother, her father, the father on the daughter, son back to the mother, that kind of thing. So in about 4 or 5 years, what you're going to do is, already with pedigree dogs, we are working within a limited gene pool. Now you further limited it to 1 or 2 dogs. Then what is going to happen is we're going to have bottleneck breeding, where all the dogs are being bred to one particular dog or being bred from one particular dog. then you're going to have, so if, example, the dog is, Prince Prime is a dog that maybe somewhere, somehow, a breeder did something, and then maybe a dog with one ball was put in the generation somewhere. Yes, maybe he carries the gene, you don't know. And then while you line breed and do all these things, you're trying to make all the recessives become dominant. And in the end, we're going to have serious issues. That is why we always preach for outbreeding and then breeding with diversified lines to enable everything work perfectly. So thank you once again. Please keep your comments coming. Please keep your contributions coming in. Hopefully we meet again next week. Thank you. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell for all notifications. Thank you.